So over the years of practicing and trying to learn how to handle playing cards, I've developed a few skills that only take one hand. Here's some one-handed cuts. Here's another one-handed cut. Here's some one-handed fans. And if I'm lucky, I can do a one-handed shuffle. Ooh, twin jacks. How convenient. And, okay, close enough. Third takes a charm. So, what I'm going to do is, I've been thinking I can do some things one-handed, but maybe I could do a trick one-handed. So, let's try it. Deck's shuffled, and somebody would just say stop. Say they said stop right there. And what we're going to do is take the card, let them see it, okay, and lose it back into the middle. All of the other cards of the pack there. So we'll shuffle it in a little bit. So we can give it something like a little better shuffle. Better is in a better mix. Anyway, so we're gonna trying to shuffle the card in 1 second here. So for what we're gonna do this, we're gonna try to find it one-handed. Quick screw up the deck, and we're gonna do it on the count of 3. And I would ask my spectator to count with me to 3, finding their card one-handed. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And I actually found the card one-handed. It's just in the other hand. And so, I believe that is your selection. So for the trick, you don't need to open up with the one-handed cuts and shuffles like I did that were really bad. You could just start out by saying this is a one-handed card trick. Okay, so when you start out, put your hand on your lap. Right hand on your lap. I'm right-handed. My right hand's, I shoot a basketball with my right hand, and stuff like that. I'm totally, very dominantly right-handed actually in most things. But for this trick I use my left hand because this is the hand that my deck is always in mechanics grip in, and it's the one that I start a lot of these cuts from. It's funny, like this one-handed cut is much better in my right hand because I'm always picking it up from this side. Whereas this one is a lot better at that cut because I don't do it with this hand as much. So for this trick's purposes, I would probably use whatever hand your deck is most in. So start out, riffle down the edge of the pack. We're going to learn a double lift that you can use for this trick and for others. Alright, riffle down the edge. Now if you want to, you can just like dribble down 2, catch a little break with your index finger, and then push that up forward. If you want it a little more advanced, you can do something like that and then show them. That's what I was doing before, but this is a really good method. Have them say stop, cut to where they said stop, boink, close enough. Just dropping it on the table is good usually, and it sets you up well for the next part. Anyway, so then you're going to do a thumb count, 1, 2, and you can see when I do it, I gesture with my hand, saying, so we're going to take this card, and that covers up the thumb count, well, just a tiny bit of movement. So, this card, 1, 2. Then what you're going to do is take this is a double, you're going to pick it up with your thumb and middle finger, and then you're going to rotate it like this. So you've counted down 2, so you can sort of push it forward with your thumb a little bit. You want to push down a little bit with your fat there, with the waddle of your hand, and then you're going to pick that up there. Okay? Then what you're going to do is pivot that until it hits your index finger and pinky, sort of like you're going to do a one-handed cut. Anyway, so you move it there, and then you can either flip it over and move it back, and the double's successful. If you want to go for broke or try out something a little more advanced, I'm not very good at this one, but you can give it a try. So flip the card like that, and you can do that. I mean, you know, some people can do that really, really well and do several spins. But me, you know, it just is simple to just say, check out your card, and that way you don't need to look at it, and that's a good way because, you know, sometimes spectators think it's important that you know what the card is. Anyway, so you've shown them their card, then you're not going to put it back right away. Instead, you're going to show it to them, and then you're going to square this up so they see their card, and it's very convenient to square it up since you're supposed to be thumbing it off or whatever. Put that into the middle, put the other half on top. So this is the random card. Our selected 6 is on top. Push it in. Nice little dribble. Really clean. Then what I do is a false-ish cut. Put a small pack there. Then just put another pack a little farther forward. Now I did a pretty big one in my video. If you want a little more advanced, just put it like right here. Okay, so that the second pack, we know this is the card. I sprinkle a bunch of other cards on top in a very sloppy way, so it just looks sloppy. When I take my thumb, and here you can see this from the side, see that break there, I know that's the selection right there. So I pick up there in the back from that break point, and I pick up in the front from that one since it's off the edge there, so I have a thumb break right here at the selection. And then I sort of pull them back. I don't even need to square it up. And then I pull off this half, that one like that, selection here, like this. We're going to go through that one more time real fast. Little packet, one packet a little forward. The other pack is just mixed in on top. Square it up, pulling up on the front, pulling back in the back, so we get a break over our selected card, pull them back, complete the cut, it's back on top. So that's unnecessary. If you don't want to do that, don't do it if you don't feel comfortable. So the selected 6 still on top. Now what you're going to do is you're going to say, let's give them another shuffle. You could just skip to this if you don't need that cut. And you're going to start out with one card at a time, so this puts our 6 on the bottom. So just sort of like, you know, at first it's sort of a slow shuffle, and then you're going to put down a couple and think, oh, I can do it like this. So it doesn't look like, it looks like you're planning on doing them one at a time a lot, and then you just start doing a lot just to speed up the process. And I just sort of thumb off like this. Cards turn over, fine. Make it messy, make it sloppy. This makes it look even more mixed. And then you just take these over and put them in there. So right now, the cards are all a mess, but we happen to know that our selection is on the very, very bottom. There it is. So what you're going to do, start sort of mixing them in like this, and you're going to pull them all forward, and you're going to pull them to the edge of the edge of the table. Now underneath the cover of the table, what's going to happen is as you pull them forward, you're going to thumb this card forward a little bit, the bottom card. Then what you're going to do is, let's say this is the table, you pull this forward and you thumb that one forward a little bit. Then you bring it up to square it up to the edge, and you're going to let it drop like this, sweep it off the edge of the table. So when you're pulling, pull it up, and then just sweep it right off the edge into your hand. Now this of course does have to be done with a table, which most of the cuts need to work with a table anyway, so it's just part of this trick. I'm sitting on a little lower seat than usual because the stool puts my legs like right here, and that's not very far to fall, and I want a little more drop. But basically you have a waiting hand here, and basically we're in the act of squaring this up. If you need to, if you want to, another way to do this would be to go over to your chest to try to square them up, something like that. Whatever you want. I would prefer the table, but basically this one's kind of down, and we just sweep it right in since it's the bottom card, and we know that. And then we start squaring them up like this. Now that took me a little while in the video, which was awkward, but you know, it shouldn't take too long usually. So we have the pack squared. Now at this point we have the card down here. It doesn't really matter as long as we don't move our hand too much. We can just put it into what looks like a good palm position. So, you know, whatever palm you like. I usually do a gambler's palm. I've just sort of always done that. So, so we have the gambler's palm here. And you can mess around with this a little bit more. But when you put your hand behind your back, you know, which will set you up for the big reveal, you want to say, all right, now I'm really going to find your card one-handed. And that's a good time to put your hand behind your back. And when you put it behind your back, make sure it's not like this. that's fine, but it's going to add a little more suspense, and suspense is good for performance. A little more suspense if it's face down. And then you can count to 3 or whatever, or just say, look, your card is gone. This is one nice thing, is you want to make sure to spread out the cards at the end of your fake find, or if you want to just say it's gone, because this way they'll see that their card isn't there if they want to look. And then just stand up, turn completely around, and turn the card and turn it over in your hands. So that's the trick. I hope you guys can learn that and enjoy that, and try out this double lift. If you want to do this as a regular double lift, that's fine. This is one I do sometimes. So a little grip lock kind of thing, moving it over like this, and it can be a little convincer as well if you have it nice and squared. I think that's going to do it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the trick.